Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. Alright, so this video is randomly inspired this morning, and I'm going to try to articulate all of my points and whatnot. Pause for caffeine. So, I wanted to talk about spiritually grasping in this video and grasping in general. So, what I mean by that is there's always something more that we want to go after. You know, you have one cookie, you want to reach for a second cookie. Me, particularly with ice cream. That first spoonful was great. I want more. Next thing you know, I'm plowing through an entire carton, right? Or maybe I'll have a second soda after this because you can never really have enough caffeine. Yes, you can. You can overdose. Ooh, good point. Huh? So, if you think about it, where is the finish line with stuff? You get a job, and then you get money. Maybe you want more money. So you keep striving. You know, in life we go for, you graduate elementary school, you graduate middle school, you graduate high school, you're supposed to get married, supposed to have kids, supposed to have a job, blah 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 blah. What's next? The biggest problem with people in the mundane and the spiritual is that we're always trying to reach for more. I mean, I got one didgeridoo and I liked it so much I didn't just stick with that one. I got another one. Even one of the things I've been wrestling with lately in terms of grasping and stuff like that is I got I've been through several ukuleles. I got a Luna Henna Dragon right here. I got and that's a tenor. I got a Enya concert model over here in a nice hard case. And, as I'm playing these, I'm like, man, there's other ones out there. I could get those too. And then there goes the bank account, right? There's so many different things where like we are constantly seeking more and more and more and more. You're in the desert and you have water. You're more thirsty because the desert life is very draining. And we're constantly looking for those things to satiate us on the outside. You know, you want to come home because you had a rough work day and then you want to have something at the end of the night. You want to have a nightcap. You want to have some ice cream the second you get home because you had such a stressful day. You know, the more spiritually balanced you are, the less these kinds of things are going to impact you. One of the biggest messages that I've been getting in my meditations and everything lately is being calm in the stillness, being calm with what you have and what you are. Now, if you want to improve your life situation, wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that. But the tension of, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I need more, that's the problem because, you can strive for goals, but it's putting that stress on yourself of needing more is going to get you in this constant hamster wheel, like you're constantly hiking up a mountain. So as far as spirituality stuff goes, where spirituality comes into this equation is the comfortability with what you have. So we live in this mundane world where we're constantly told by advertisers and all this other stuff because they're really good at it that, have you tried this yet? Oh, you want to improve your life? Get brand new windows for your house. You think your life sucks? Get a new bed, get a new sofa, get this, get that, get this, get that. And they're targeting that grasping and that sense of lack that we all have innately unless we work on it. And this is where the spiritual life comes into it. Regardless of your spiritual persuasion, you know, you want to, and this is why I lean on the spiritual model, even though I also talk about the energetic models and the psychological models on this channel, that there's something bigger out there than just us. And in the Karo tradition, for example, you have when you're initiated through the levels, you have your real world parents, your mom and your dad, but spiritually you connect with the divine masculine, the divine feminine, your spiritual parents. We have anima, animus, divine, feminine, masculine qualities within us. Some of us lean one way, some of us lean the other way. The goal is to balance them. And you can go to your mom for certain things. You can go to your dad for certain things. Your mom's really good at this. Your dad's really good at that. When we grow up, we're more kind of on the same level as our parents. Of course, they can help us out and whatever, but don't mince the details too much. But we want to reach higher than that. This is what me and my lady were just talking about. The entire conversation we just had for the last 45 minutes could have been a freaking podcast episode. We got to do more of those. I got to get her on here, man. I got to drag her down to this couch, or maybe in front of the cacao lady thingy upstairs, which you guys have seen before. But when we are spiritually fulfilled, then the mundaneness of the what's next in my material life becomes less important. Because, like I've been saying in the meditations that I've had, being comfortable with what you have. Now, I've been shopping around for ukuleles and different things because I could get one made out of ebony. I could get one out of acacia. I could get one out of, what's the heck is the other one? Koa, right? But I got a beautiful mahogany one right here. I got a beautiful carbon fiber one right here. And I'm going to stick with these guys because they sound beautiful, and maybe I'll upgrade later, but being comfortable with what you have, because like when I play music, I feel my spirit being fulfilled, if you know what I mean. If you ever play an instrument or you dance or you sing or anything like that, any of those things, they fulfill something that other things don't. And when you engage in a life of leaning on mysticism here, on being connected with spirit, being connected with the world around you, taking that time out to meditate, taking that time out to go out in nature, connecting with the forces that are bigger than you. I guess you could even argue the psychological and energetic models for this, but being connected with something bigger than you, the web of the world, the all, any of that stuff, that's when you really start to realize that the grasping for the next ukulele, the next thing of ice cream, the next shot of caffeine, forgive me, isn't that big of a thing, right? And this is where, shadow work and all this other stuff can tie into this, because we are constantly trying to fill something. We're trying to band-aid something. We're trying to bury something. We're trying to fill something over. You ever heard of shop therapy? You have a bad day, you go shopping, you have a bad day, you get some ice cream. Oh, I want ice cream, dang it. Where we're constantly doing those things. But when you're leaning on something bigger than you, on something outside of you, and the relationships, we get fulfilled with our relationships with other people. We feel wonderful when we're out with friends. We can vent our frustrations to them. We can have fun with them, and even with partnerships and relationships and stuff like that. And that's in the mundane world. Think about cultivating a relationship with spirits, with the divine, whatever you want to call it, however big, however small. The land spirits outside, the big cheese, whatever you want to call the all, Yahweh, Allah, whatever label you want to give. It's flying spaghetti monster, doesn't matter. Having that kind of relationship with that kind of thing can kind of help to fill that void, where I have a void, I want to get another uke. I have a void, I want to get another didge. I have a void, I want to get ice cream. Where you start to realize that the world is much bigger than just your tiny problems. And addressing those little tiny problems, hammer needs nail, or playing whack-a-mole, you're on a constant hamster wheel. So the idea is to go beyond that. Now, you're rising above it. But at the same time, too, as above, so below, when you rise above something like that, you're also descending into it, because transformation is descending. And, there's a reflection on that where you're rising above it, so you're descending. But the biggest idea is having that spiritual connection to something bigger than you and a different perspective than you and whatnot and what have you, trying to parcel this out, is what can keep you from this constant grasping of what's next, what's next, what's next. I don't feel good, I need coffee. I don't feel good, I need caffeine. I don't feel good, I want this, I want that, I want that. I don't have enough. You know, treating yourself to different things is great in moderation and being responsible, but work on filling that inside void with something else first. My mom said a really, really great thing when I was early 20s, right? And I'll use her words anyways, and then I'll parcel on it. We all have a God-shaped hole, right? So, and we got to fill it with something, some kind of spirituality. What do you worship? What do you strive for? For some people, it's money. For some people, it's their next fix, if you know what I mean. For some people, it's food. For some people, it's Netflix, right? What are you using to fill that hole? For some people, it's their next ukulele. I could jam on that damn thing all day. So I encourage you to fill that hole with some kind of spirituality, where build a daily practice of working with, it could even be your higher self, your future self, or, you want to go a more shamanistic path, a spirit animal, a spirit guide, an ancestor, or the spirit of the locality where you live, even if you go to a church kind of thing. Work with that kind of thing. Start building a relationship with the things that are bigger than you. And I promise you, those little things of the next hit of ice cream, or the next musical instrument you want to get, or the next time that you see an ad for something on TV and you're like, I got to get that, it's not going to impact you as much. So, weird way of saying it, stop grasping and start reaching, if that makes sense. Okay, my rant's over for today because I'm running out of time to do some other things because I got a busy day coming. But definitely let me know what you think about this one. Drop any of your questions or any of that stuff in the comments. I will catch you guys next time. Good hunting.